harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. President Pro Tem, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In order to save my voice, I'm deferring to Alderman Nash at this time.
Proclamation NAACP Norwich Branch.
Good to go? Forgive me, I don't have my readers. Whereas October 14th, 1963, the NAACP Norwich Branch received its charter from the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, formed in 1909 with the total of 111 chartered members. And whereas the first officers of the Norwich Branch were a diverse group of individuals from many different ethnic, racial, and religious backgrounds. Monthly meetings were held at the Evans Memorial AME Zion Church in Norwich, and whereas the first officers were President Reverend Joseph Schneider, minister of the Norwich Unitarian Universalist Church, Vice President Reverend Richard Campbell, minister of Evans Memorial AME Zion Church, Secretary Amanda Bradboy, co-founder, Treasurer Teely Edwards, a charter member, and whereas the NAACP Norwich Branch for the past 60 years has advocated and worked tirelessly to address equity, equality, and justice on the issues of civic engagement, climate change, criminal justice, education, health care, housing, labor, and workforce and business. And whereas in 1965, after the passage of the Economic Opportunity Act and the creation of the Thames Valley Council for Community Action, the NAACP Norwich Branch was appointed a seat for a member to serve on the board and directors. And whereas the NAACP Norwich Branch is fighting for change, progress, and advocacy, envisioning an inclusive community rooted in liberation where all persons can exercise their civil and human rights without discrimination. And whereas the Rose City celebrates the 60th anniversary of the NAACP Norwich Branch has given and worked hard to make the city a better place. Therefore, Mayor Peter Nystrom and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Joseph DeLucia, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of our city, do hereby congratulate the Norwich branch of the NAACP on their 60th anniversary and thank them for their hard work and dedication. Dated 6th day of October, 2023.
Thank you.
Adoption of minutes September 5th and September 18th.
At this time, I'd ask for a motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second. Alderwoman Berto. Is there discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf? President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0.
Petition and communication, letter of referral from Monument Committee approving the location of the Greenville Playground wall for a mural and request that the artist and those assisting them coordinate with the city planner and the Public Works Director.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to receive. Alderman Nash, second. Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes 7-0.
City Manager's report?
Yes, this is the city manager's report for October 2nd, 2023. Meetings attended were the Southeastern Council of Governments Executive Committee meeting, NCDC Board of Directors meeting, and NPU City Coordination meeting. I also attended the Eastern Connecticut Corridor Rail and Transit Feasibility Study public information meeting that was held on September 20th, 2023 at Otis Library. The study is regarding the feasibility of expanding Shoreline East commuter rail from New London to Westerly and New London to Norwich along the west bank of the Thames River. The study also looked at transit improvements to enhance connectivity for current and future residents. The findings of the study are preliminary. Project development would require additional study, planning, permitting, design, and most importantly, funding. The transit improvements are much more reasonable from a funding perspective, 9 to 10 million with annual operating costs of 3 to 4 million. Rail implementation of the Norwich line is estimated at over 600 million with a $33 million operating cost. The second land use training was held on September 28th through the Center of Land Use Education and Research and COG for the city's land use officials. The State of Connecticut Public Act 2129 requires 4 hours of training for all land use officials, members, and commissions by January 1st, 2024, and every other year thereafter. The Human Services Division's block party was a big success. Over 300 people attended the Rose City Block Party, a safe, substance-free space for kids and their families to locate resources. Enrollment in youth, family, and recreation programs has tripled since last year, and the number of class offerings have doubled. The Adult and Family Division is assisting, on average, over 75 Norwich families each month. The Rose City Senior Center has been awarded a grant from the state of Connecticut and is excited to announce their upcoming outdoor patio renovation to be completed by next fall. The 33rd annual Walktober has begun. The city of Norwich participates with the last Green Valley National Heritage Corridor on this annual event. Norwich has over 41 walks and events scheduled, including numerous heritage sites and points of interest throughout the city. The second annual Norwich Strut will be held on Saturday, October 28th from 5 to 8 p.m. Thank you to the volunteers and sponsors that make these events possible. The full Walktober guide is available online at thelastgreenvalley.org. And that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you, John. Any questions of the city manager? Seeing none. Again, thank you.
Executive session?
I hereby move pursuant to Connecticut General Statute 1-200, subsection 6, that the members of the Norwich City Council go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the acquisition or disposition of real estate or interest in real estate when publicly regarding the proposed acquisition or disposition would cause a likelihood of an increased price to acquire and a diminished price to dispose of the property, and to review feasibility evaluations and reports made for the city of Norwich regarding such property, and to review information given the city in confidence, not required to be disclosed by law. City Manager John Salamone, Comptroller Josh Pothier, Police Chief Patrick Daly, Director of Public Works Patrick McLaughlin, Director of Planning and Neighborhood Services Deanna Rhodes, and Corporation Counsel Michael Driscoll shall be asked to participate during all or portions of this executive session at the request of the City Council.
Is there a second, please? Alderman Nash. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. 319, please. Could I have a motion to come back to the council meeting, please. Alderwoman Berto, second Alderman Singh. A roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf? Yes. President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Motion to return passes 7-0. At this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to suspend our rules to give a moment for the city manager to give a presentation. Motion by Alderwoman Gould, second Alderwoman Berto. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? Yes. Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. John, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. You can, power up the, screen. You can do that, yeah. And push that button,
All displays?
yeah. The one that you pushed before, right, Ray? It's ready? Yep. Oh, okay. Okay, what you have here is a topographic map of the area around Mahan Drive. You see on the left of the screen are the two schools that are up there, Kelly Middle School and the Technical High School that's there. Across from Mahan Drive is number 22, which is the senior center. So that gives you kind of a perspective of what we're talking about. Then we have the running track at the bottom, towards the bottom of the screen, and where John Edward Drive is. So you'll note that this parcel that I'll be recommending tonight for two purposes. One is to go towards the expansion of Mohegan Park, and it's to be determined how many acres would go towards that. And then some of the acreage would be reserved for future building sites and for the part of the building for the police station. The blue outline is the acreage that we're talking about. It's between 28 or 30 acres. We're not exactly, we would have to pin that down a little bit. It's interesting, it shows that there's an overlap here between the park. So it's possible that some of the park is actually in there. We're not sure, it goes back many years. But that's the property that we're looking at. The round circle I put in is the approximate space for the police station. Now, what's important to note in that is that you see how it squeezes down a little bit where that circle is. That circle is where the flagpole is. That's around, it goes around it. So we would be talking about using some of this land that is to the east of the parking lots. There's a number of parking lots just north of the senior center that would be used to expand the footprint of the building for two reasons. One is to give it the proper buffers, and two, it would allow for expansion of the station some years out if needed. I think we're building it with expansion in mind right now, so, but you never know how things change. So we do have sufficient room to do that. Yeah, I think that's, now if we zero in, you can see a little closer, so it goes up to where that the flagpole is in the round area, And then there's an unpaved parking lot a little to the south of that, adjacent to, that. So all that land is basically owned by the city, but we were using parcel 21, actually where it jogs out a little bit, and down towards the senior center. That would be reserved for future municipal use, could someday have a recreation center there, could have an aquatic center, tied to the senior center. It has a lot of versatility. It would also open up Mohegan Park, that we could connect with walking trails, so the schools could use it, the seniors could use it, and actually hike up into the Spalding Pond area from that. It's a good hike. It goes up pretty substantially from Mahan Drive. So with that, that's the explanation of why we selected this one. It has a dual purpose. One is for open space and connection, and adding property to Mohegan Park. And the other is having additional land that would be needed for the police station and future expansions of other municipal uses. I'll take any questions from the council.
Members, questions at this time? None. Thank you very much, John.
You're welcome.
Could we have a motion to return? Alderman Gould, second. Alderman Berto. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes 7-0.
Citizen comment on resolutions on agenda items only.
I declare citizen comment on resolutions open at this time and invite anyone wishing to speak to the council on the 5 resolutions before us. Please state your name and address at the podium. You have 3 minutes, please. Is there anyone wishing to speak to us at this time on citizen comment? Yes, please.
The need for a new police station has reached critical levels. There is no question or doubt that we need one. My issue is with the location. I live at the bottom of the hill. That means where we had FEMA came to our rescue the last time we had flooding. We have flooding whenever there's leaves that collect on the grates, there's twigs, or the ground is frozen. Right now, we've had a lot of rain, no flooding. But that's because our grates are open. That's because the ground can actually accept water at the moment. Plus, it was dry for so long. What's going to happen when you add more concrete to the top of the hill? You're going to be putting in more water. And that water has no place to go except down. Now, I have been promised, and I'm ready to be corrected. I have been promised that we're putting in a new drain system at the top of the hill. But my concern is that that drain system is going to be for the current problems, for the current water that's being drained off of those properties. I'm concerned that we're going to just be moving our water problem from Bliss Place over to Julian Street. Maybe my street will be dry. That would be nice. But I have to have a concern for my neighbors. It's a rule. I made it up. If it's not good enough for me, it's not good enough for my neighbors either. I'm concerned that we're going to have water problems. And I need to know that they're going to be addressed. I've been promised they're going to be addressed, but I need to know it. And I'm needed to speak on the record that there is a problem, and it's going to be an expensive problem to fix. Not now, but it will be. And you can do what you can to prevent that, but it's an expensive fix, and you haven't even started yet. So you've got to look at, when you're looking at that property, you know, you've got to be looking at what it's going to take to make sure that nobody is harmed. I have a couple other concerns. One is with the police station so close to Mohegan Park, the shortcut is going to be through the park. And that means that in 10 years down the road, I know that somebody is going to be asking for streetlights to be put through the park. And one of the reasons we don't have streetlights in the park now is because we didn't want it to disturb the nocturnal environment. And that's one of the things. Is that part of the plan? No. Will it become part of the plan? No, because it's not something that's ever asked for. It's not something you plan for. It's just something that's going to happen. Whether we want to, whether we like it, that's just how it is. Okay? I just want to remind everybody that going up Harland Road, there are no sidewalks. Even on Mahan Drive, there is no sidewalks. We do have a bike path going from the entry parking lot to Kelly to the exit parking lot at Kelly. That's the entire bike path. Fortunately, we have a really good engineer on the Enterprise, and it's able to beam the bicycle riders up and down. But it's just one of the things you got to think about before you make decisions like that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to address the council on resolutions this evening. And I'd like to address the council on resolutions this evening. Please, sir.
My name is Pietro Rocchi Camardella, 79 Lambert Drive, Norwich, Connecticut, and I happen to be running for city council. The question I have, or the concern I would say, is you're not sure where the boundary, you're not sure how much space, you're not sure where exactly. When you talked about the police station last meeting, I don't think you even mentioned this property. Right? Did you mention this property last time when you were talking of $45 million for a new police station? So it seems to me like you're deciding already. It's already decided. You didn't make us, the citizens of Norwich, aware. Mr. Solomon was already, with the police station, $45 million, will you already have this site in mind, Mr. Solomon? I don't know. Can you answer a question? I don't know.
We can speak to your concern when the resolution's on the floor, but not during this. We do not exchange.
Okay.
That's not within our
Well,
rules.
it seems to me like you purposely leave things opened or uncertain or undecided, because that way then you can decide whatever you want. The truth of the matter is, the citizen, that's my feeling, my personal feeling, the citizens of the city are not being represented. We should know first what you guys talking about. Get our feedback and then decide, because you're in charge. You have been granted by the citizens to right to sit in those seats. How is it nobody knows? Oh, we're not sure. We'll think about it. Like the lady just said. About the drain, about the thing. Have you all talked about that? Discussed it? Anyways, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I'd like to speak under citizen comment at this time. Anyone else like to address this under citizen comment at this time? Again, anyone like to speak to us under citizen comment at this time? Seeing no one else, I declare it closed. Thank you both.
Resolution number 1, relative to approving the location of Greenville Playground Wall for a mural and request that the artist and those assisting them coordinate with the city planner and the public works director.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor, and I will be also asking in that motion that if you go down to paragraph 3, and it is line 1, 2, 3, fifth line down, after the word "a quote," strike "from Angela Davis," and then read the rest of the line as it says, "a quote, recognizing the desire of youth to make changes for the better in our neighborhoods," and so forth. Could I have that motion at one time, please? Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? And I would state that this is in keeping with the recommendation from the Monument Committee.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on the motion? Yes, President Pro Tem.
So I would like to know what attribution we're going to put on this quote. Because even anonymous quotes have an attribution that say anonymous. And if this woman said this, and this is her quote, why is her name being stricken from the quote? So I'd like to know why the Monument Committee made that decision and how they made that decision.
Thank you,
Alderman
Mr. Mayor. Yes, so basically this quotation is what we have learned has been used by many different authors, and the project was not that this quote has been used by Angela Davis, but it was tributed to Angela Davis. And that was the reason, because the quotation has been used by different people at different time. So I think there was consensus that to just not use anyone's name, and we did had consent even with Sheila Hayes, who attended the meeting and was spearheading the project at that time.
You still have the floor, Joe.
Thank you very much. Did you actually see evidence that other people had made this quote? Was that presented to the Monument Committee? Actual physical evidence showing where other people had made this quote, that it was documented, that it was attributed to those people, and that this is somehow in the public domain, or was this just anecdotally decided based on, forgive me, I'm not being glib, but, well, I heard that somebody said that a whole bunch of other people said the same quote. Or did somebody actually come to you with a textbook or a novel or another document where this quote was actually used by somebody other than Angela Davis?
I will say that it was discussion based, and I do have other two Monument Committee members here if they want to say what they want to say.
You have the floor, Joe.
What does discussion-based mean?
I think Alderman Grant bring up the point, that I don't know exactly what you said, but that the quotation has been used by different folks at different time, and I think that was the reasoning that was given in the Monument Committee. And then actually Sheila Hayes then recommended that if by erasing the name, helps, then they don't really have any problem with that. If Grant, you want to say something, feel free to do that.
Yeah,
Hold on a second. Pro Tem still has the floor. Are you?
Well, if the chair of the Monuments Committee wants to defer to Alderman
Okay.
Neuendorf, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
So from what I recollect, that Sheila had also brought up the point that this quote has also been used by others, and that she made the point that it also comes from it's a kind of like attributed to like a biblical reference, and so that's how the discussion kind of got rolling. And then she had also just suggested for this project to get underway and to be completed in, you know, the time that they had set aside, that we move forward in removing the name Angela Davis from the quote. So I don't know if that's helpful.
Is there further questions at this time? My understanding, if I may add, this statement can also be found in its use, I believe, with Alcoholics Anonymous. So, I mean, to attribute it to one person only, I mean, I don't know that anybody ever gave proof that this was attributed to one person. I mean, does that exist? I haven't seen it. Wasn't shared with me. We would like to see the mural move forward at this time, and this is one way to make sure that we get approval tonight and stay within the budgeted time frame that people are looking for. Please.
So the quote that is similar to this as used by Alcoholics Anonymous is not this quote. And it seems to me that the removal, if this is in fact her original quote, and you did not have, you meaning the Monuments Committee did not have evidence to refute that, then it seems to me that removing this woman's name from the attribution is being made a condition of the mural moving forward. I will say that if that quote came out of my mouth and you were intending to use it, whether it was in a public domain or not, without attributing it to me, I'd be very upset. And you all know that I'm a teacher, and one of the things I teach my students is that they are not allowed to use other people's original work without citing that person as the author. And I believe that if we are going to remove this woman's name from that quote, and again, and knowing that it is her original quote, then we are committing an act of plagiarism, because we as a city are putting this up, we are endorsing this piece of art, and we are using a quote, essentially taking it as a city and not giving the attribution to the person who we believe said it. That, to me, is a problem. And I really think that the truth behind the matter is that, for right, wrong, or indifferent, you did not like this woman, I should call her by her name, you didn't like Ms. Davis's politics, and that's why you object to her name being on this mural. It has nothing to do with whether it was her quote or not. You do not have evidence that it is not her quote. You should not be taking her name off of it unless you do.
Do you have evidence that it is her quote?
I'm sorry?
Do you have evidence that it is her quote?
It was presented to us as her quote.
3 quotes were presented to you. The Public Works Committee happened to pick this one. The fact that there were 3 to be considered was not even shared with the council when we first saw this resolution the last time. Why was that omitted? There were other choices.
You would have to speak to whoever is putting this mural forward.
Well, the matters before the council, we're not going to go to the floor at this time. Is there further discussion? Alderwoman Gould, is your hand up?
I believe Ms. Hayes has the information, and
Oh.
I'd like to ask her to come to the podium.
Okay.
Good evening, Sheila Hayes, 382 Laurel Hill Avenue. So as I stated in the Monument Committee, that the quote and the attribution to Angela Davis was given to us by a youth and presented to us as a quote by Angela Davis. After it came up of the discussion and at the Monument Committee, upon further looking into, was she the only person who made the quote? I informed them, no. This quote has been made by other people. Sometimes it is even written as anonymous, where there is no attribution. She is one of the people who has made the quote. But I cannot say that this quote is her original and only quote. So that's why removing the attribution, it could say anonymous if we had wanted to. I've always tried to explain, we went with what the youth presented to the artist. And it was a quote that the youth presented that said, I got this from Angela Davis. Okay, upon further looking into it, there are other people who have used that quote, and it has also been written or stated as someone anonymous has made the quote. And that is why I then said, then I would suggest we remove any reference to a name, since there are other people who have said it and or it has been said anonymously. And that's in writing as well.
Thank you, Alderman Gould.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
No.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. The resolution passes 6-1. As amended.
That was not, that was the motion to strike?
I asked for the motion to strike in the motion to bring it to the floor just to move business forward. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. I apologize. I thought everybody else understood that. So it was one motion.
Yes.
Resolution number 2, relative to the Norwich Halloween strut.
Motion, please bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Alderwoman Gould.
Having gone to the first Norwich Halloween strut, I'm excited that we're going to have a second one. And I thank Deanna Rhodes and the Norwich Events Organization for putting this on again. I think it was a great night for families, for adults, for children. Everybody had a great, great time last year, so I'm excited that we're going to do this again this year.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Neuendorf?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes 7-0.
Resolution number 3, relative to city manager being authorized to sign an agreement with the state of Connecticut for the replacement of bridge number 00279 carrying Lawler Lane over I-395.
Motion, please. Bring it forward. Alderwoman Gould, is there a second, please? Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0.
Number 4, relative to a portion of Sachem Plains Road bounded by Mahan Drive being discontinued.
Motion, please, to bring this forward. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? A roll call.
Alderman Nash. Alderwoman Berto.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. It is adopted.
Number 5, relative to the city manager being authorized to enter into a purchase and sales agreement with Ox Hill Land LLC.
A motion to bring this to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Corporate Counsel, would you have or Josh, have the figures to put in? You come to the microphone, please.
Correct me if I have this wrong, John, but it's $385,000.
Yes.
And what is the date? I'm not the date on this.
I think, my discussion about where the funds were coming from.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be in the resolution, just the, price.
It has a return, sale shall take place on or before with a blank for the date.
It needs a date.
Oh, the date, I would defer to,
I would put down December 31st, 2023.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh. So at this time, I'd ask for a motion to amend the resolution before us. In line 5, the sum is listed at $385,000. And then in the last paragraph, please repeat the same amount, $385,000. And the date that it shall take place on or before December 31st, 2023. That would be the amendment I'm asking you to support. Alderman Nash moved, seconded by Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia. Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. The motion passes 7-0. The resolution 5 is adopted.
New business ordinance, an ordinance exempting the Orthodox Church of the Holy New Martyrs and Confessors of Russian Incorporated from the payment of taxes of certain property located at 8 Harlan Heights from the date of purchase.
I'm going to ask for a motion to raise this for public hearing to waive the full text reading, scheduled for second reading. Does this have to go to, this doesn't have to go to CCP? No. Okay.
October 16th?
Next meeting here this month in October, so today being the 2nd, be the 16th. Nash, second by Alderwoman Gould. So the motion is to waive the full text reading at this time, scheduled for a second read, public hearing on October 16th. Is there discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould. Alderman Neuendorf. President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. The public hearing is scheduled at our next meeting. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Alderwoman Gould, second by Alderman Nash. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Berto.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Neuendorf.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Motion passes to adjourn 7-0. We are adjourned.